Hi guys, welcome back. Now in the previous videos, we established the quantity at which firms would maximize their profits. That is the profit maximizing quantity where we use the totals approach and the marginals approach, right? Now in this video, we are going to look at what constitutes profit for economists because the accounting definition of what a profit is different from what economists constitute as profit. And the reason why economists and accountants they differ in terms of what profit is not because of the profit, but it's because of what constitutes cost. And for that reason, I would suggest you, if you haven't watched my video on explicit and implicit cost, so pause this video first, go and watch that video, and then you can come back on this video. So guys, moving on, we have already seen in the previous videos what cost is as far as explicit and implicit cost. And economists view cost differently from accountants, right? So in accounting, cost is just explicit cost, that is whatever you are paying, right? Which includes your fixed and your variable cost. While in economics, economists do not consider cost as just your fixed and variable cost. For for an economist, in order to constitute something as cost, or let's say the total cost for an economist, would not only include the fixed and the variable cost that you have paid, but would also include the implicit cost, right? So, guys, quick recap: explicit cost, the payments made for all the expenses that you have paid, fixed, that includes your fixed and variable cost. And your implicit cost is basically your opportunity cost of using your self-employed and self-owned resources into the business. So if you have invested your own self and your own time into the business, so the salary that you could have earned if you had not started your business, probably you would be doing a job. So the salary that you would have earned from there, or let's say the self-owned resources, as in, let's say you're doing business in your building and you could have rented that building out, probably if you hadn't been working, as in if you hadn't been doing the business, you could have rented that out. So rent that you're potentially foregoing, and the salary that you're potentially foregoing, or any subsequent interest income that you're potentially foregoing, is the opportunity cost of doing the business, because these are all the benefits that you're foregoing. In terms of, this is all money income that you're foregoing, and that is what economists regard as the implicit cost. It's just the opportunity cost of investing your own time and money, and your own self-owned resources, and you investing yourself as well in the business, because you could have done a job as well, right? That's what I've written in of using self-employed as well. Self-employed as in you being the entrepreneur, working in your, or starting your own business basically. So remember that economists and accountants basically will ultimately reach with different conclusions as far as your costs are concerned. And because they will reach different conclusions as far as costs are concerned, they will ultimately reach with different conclusions as far as profits are concerned, right? So in economics, when economists consider as profit, that economic profit that they consider versus what the accounting profit is, so that really gives us different useful insights into, potentially foreseeing whether the business that we are doing is actually worthwhile or not. And I'll explain it to you how that works. I know it probably at the start right now it doesn't make sense, but it will make sense by the end of the video. Economist guys, remember, economists will always factor in the opportunity cost and total cost whenever they are working out the profit. So now I've given an example. So let's say in the example, let's say I started a business, probably let's say a shoe business, let's say, and I have a factory and I'm producing and selling shoes, and my total revenue for the year is, let's say, $120,000, and my explicit cost, which would be my raw material, rent, labor, etc., all the overhead cost, the paid expenses, the explicit cost is 100,000, right? Apart from that, I could have potentially not done business, and I could have also earned an annual income of $10,000, let's say. So this is the foregone wage or the salary that I could have potentially earned, and let's say the foregone interest percent is 10%. So obviously, as in I could have, so you see, if I'm paying 100,000 as my expenses, so this is the cash that I'm paying. So I could have used this cash instead. If I wouldn't be doing the business, I could have used this cash instead, and I could have put this money in the bank and earn interest, right? So I'm also foregoing interest income, right? So these are my implicit costs. So in accounting, the profits definition is total revenue minus total cost, right? Which includes only your explicit cost. While in economics, the definition for, or the formula for profit is still the same. That is total revenue minus total cost. But total cost would include your explicit and your implicit cost. So the accounting profit in our example would be $20,000. The pi sign for profit, which is 120,000 minus the explicit cost only, that is $20,000. While in economics, we can see that in economics, since the total cost includes your explicit plus your implicit cost, right? Explicit plus your implicit cost. And total cost in economics is basically the economic cost, as in the economic cost, which means the economic perspective of the cost, which is your explicit plus your implicit cost. So that would include the 120,000 revenue, as in order to calculate the profit, we'll deduct 120,000. We'll deduct the explicit and the implicit cost from 120,000, guys. So 100,000 is the explicit plus 10,000 is the implicit cost, as in the 10,000 is the wage foregone, right? Plus the interest income foregone, as in this 10,000 has come because 10% of 100,000, right? So this is 10,000. We're foregoing 10,000 interest income as well. Anyway, so the pie, so the pie is basically indicating the profit, which is 0. So this means that we have earned 0 profit. Now, hang on a second. 0 profit? What do you mean by 0 profit? As in, we're not making any profit. Actually, when we say in economics we're not making any profit, as in the economic profit is 0, but we are still making a profit, that is the absolute profit, because our revenues are 120,000 and the expenses that we have paid is 100,000. So technically, in absolute terms, there is a profit of 20,000, right? But according to economists, there is 0 profit. You need to understand this very carefully. Now, why is that? We'll see. So first of all, remember then that the economic definition of profit over here is telling us that there's 0 profit made for doing the business, right? Whenever there will be 0 profit for the business, whenever there will be 0 profit, no profit will be earned, as in the economic profit would be 0. So we say that there is normal profit. So normal profit by definition would be a situation where total revenue equals total cost, and the implicit cost is included in the total cost. So normal profit is 0 economic profit. So whenever the economic profit is 0, it's normal profit. Ab dekhein, there is a big intuition, insight behind this. Right? So don't just say, oh, normal profit is 0, that's whenever the economic profit is 0, that's normal profit. Look at the science and the economic science behind this and the economic intuition, and this will absolutely make it will make sense, right? Because in absolute terms, you are earning a profit. In your financial statements, there is a profit of 20,000. But according to economists, there is a 0 economic profit known as normal profit. If I ask you that how much profit you have made, right? So you'll be like, oh, you know what? I've made a profit of 20,000 this year. I'm super happy and I'm throwing a party because I made a 20,000 profit, right? Now, the thing is that so if you tell me that I made a 20,000 profit, my question would be that, okay, fine, you started a business this year and you ended up making a 20,000 profit, but you started a business by not considering the fact that you could have also done a job and you could have also earned interest income. So you have foregone that income as well, and that income is also $20,000, which means that the profit that you are earning is the same as your opportunity cost of 20,000. Right? It is the same as your implicit cost, because you're earning a profit of 20,000, which is your accounting profit, which means your revenues exceed your cost. Whatever your expenses are, how much expenses are you paying? You're paying 100,000 expenses, and how much revenue are you earning? 120,000. So your profit is 20,000. So the 20,000 profit that you're earning is the same as your opportunity cost, which is that, okay, fine, you're earning 20,000 profit, but then at the same time, in order to earn this profit, you have also forgone $20,000 of income that you could have potentially made had you not, started a business, right? So economists say that factor in the opportunity cost in your total cost. Right now, you're not factoring in the opportunity cost. Once you factor in the opportunity cost, what we conclude is that your economic profit is 0, as in you haven't really earned a surplus of revenue over your total cost in terms of total cost including your implicit cost as well. राइट तो वही वाली बात है यहाँ पे कि देखें 20,000 रुपीज़ का अगर मैं प्रॉफिट कमा रहा हूँ तो 20,000 की इनकम और 20,000 की इनकम मैं आई कुड हैव ऑल्सो अर्न बाय नॉट डूइंग द बिजनेस. सो अगर मैं बिज़नेस कर भी रहा हूँ, टेक्निकली अगर मैं बिज़नेस कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे उतने ही अर्निंग मेरी हो रही है, उतना ही प्रॉफिट मुझे हो रहा है जितना बेनिफिट मुझे बिज़नेस ना करके मिलता. अगर मैं बिज़नेस नहीं करता तब भी आई कुड हैव अर्न 20,000 थ्रू इंटरेस्ट एंड सैलरी. इफ़ आई एम डूइंग 20,000 बिज़नेस करके 20,000 कमा रहा हूँ तब भी मुझे उतना ही बेनिफिट मिल रहा है. सो इकोनॉमिस्ट के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है ये कंसिडर करना. इकोनॉमिस्ट विल से अच्छा, अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन आ जाती है जहाँ पे वट एवर प्रॉफिट दैट यूर अर्निंग इज एग्जैक्टली इक्वल टू योर अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट, सो योर So in that case your economic profit is zero. So technically economic profit में जब हम total cost के अंदर implicit cost को add करते हैं, जब हम implicit cost को whenever we are factoring in the implicit cost and total cost, what we are trying to do is we are trying to see what would be a situation if we factor in the implicit cost and then what our profit would be. So technically what we are trying to see is कि हम यहाँ पे profit जो हमारा earn हो रहा होता है, as in revenue minus explicit cost, whatever amount that is left with us, whatever profit that is left with us, we are trying to compare it by deducting it from the implicit cost as well, right? Because we are trying to see, okay, fine, if 20,000 profit is earned, then let's deduct it from the implicit cost and see whether we are better off, worse off, or we are just as good as we would be had we not done the business. So in this case, the business is just as good as it would be had I probably not done this two business. Because I'm earning 20,000, that's exactly the same as I could have earned by not doing the business. So am I worse off in this case? No, I'm not worse off. ठीक है, देखें प्रॉफिट मुझे अभी भी हो रहा है, एब्सोल्यूट टर्म्स में मुझे 20,000 का फ़ायदा हो रहा है, 20,000 का प्रॉफिट हो रहा है. इकोनॉमिक सेंस में मुझे जीरो प्रॉफिट हो रहा है, इकोनॉमिक सेंस में, ठीक है. बट आई एम नॉट वर्स ऑफ हेयर बिकॉज एटलीस्ट आई बी लाइक चलो ठीक है, मैंने बिज़नेस किया, बिज़नेस में मैंने 20,000 कमाए, एटलीस्ट नुकसान नहीं हुआ मुझे, क्योंकि अगर मैं बिज़नेस नहीं करता सो आई वुड हैव अर्न 20,000 की इनकम फ्रॉम सैलरी एंड इंटरेस्ट, right? But let's say if my accounting profit was 17,000 instead of $20,000, now I would be worse off doing business. Now this is representing an economic loss, because now what's happening is that my opportunity cost or the implicit cost is 20,000 while I'm earning a profit of 17,000. So which means that what's the point of doing the business? Instead do the job and earn interest. What's the point of wasting your time and doing the business when you're only earning a profit of 17,000? So that is why economists want to factor in the opportunity cost, because they want to come at different conclusions. It gives the economists different insights into decision making, right? So मैंने यहाँ पे यही लिखा है यहाँ पे that what I've written is that normal profit basically इसकी intuition क्या है? What's the insight that we are deriving? What's the insight? What's the usefulness for us? What's the take home lesson for us? The take-home lesson is that normal profit is the minimum profit required to keep the factors of production in their current use. Or in other words, the minimum profit the business owner must make to continue the current business. अब मैं इसको समझाता हूँ उसका मतलब क्या है. देखिए, minimum profit is the normal profit basically is the minimum profit. Minimum profit means that this is the minimum that you have to earn, right? If you want to feel just satisfied, then this is the minimum profit. Otherwise, close your business. If you are earning less than this, then close the business and go home. And instead invest your resources and time into the alternate income sources. So normal profit is the minimum profit required to keep the factors of production in their current use. Factors of production in the current use means land, labor, capital, enterprise into the current use, as in the current use as in the business. So if you want your factors of production and you yourself invested into your current business, then at least a minimum you should earn a profit. At least a minimum you should earn a normal profit. And normal profit is zero economic profit. But deep down what it means is that you are earning a profit. What is a normal profit? Normal profit is simply accounting profit equivalent to opportunity cost. That is मेरा जो profit हो रहा है वो मेरी opportunity cost के बराबर है, यानी implicit cost के बराबर है. ये बड़ा useful insight है इसमें. So it is the minimum profit the business must make to continue doing the current business. Why? Again, what I've written is that because if the owner makes less than $20,000, let's say if the business makes a profit of 17,000, यानी अगर मेरा accounting profit 17,000 है, यहाँ पे if the business makes less than 20,000 means I'm talking about the accounting profit, ठीक है? If the business owner is making an accounting profit of 17,000, while the opportunity cost as in the income from salary and interest is 20,000, then what's the point of doing business? What's the point? Close the business, do the earn from salary and interest. Right? So what's the point of doing the business? Because $20,000 can easily be earned by doing a job and through interest, earning interest. I'm worse off in this case. I'm having an economic loss in this case. Right? So in order to stay in business, and feeling satisfied, right? At least, not having that feeling that, I am actually not doing well because maybe I shouldn't have. Not because otherwise you will question your decision. That whether was it the right decision? Was it a rational decision of doing the business and leaving the job and foregoing the interest income? So to stay in business and to keep your factors of production in their current use, your accounting profit should be a minimum of 20,000. That is, it should be equal to your opportunity cost and implicit cost. कम से कम 20,000 का प्रॉफिट तो मैं इस साल अर्न करूं. क्यों क्यों मैं ऐसे, why am I thinking like that? Why would an economist want why would an economist want to earn a profit of 20,000 at least minimum to stay in business? Because the opportunity cost is 20,000. And what is the opportunity cost? The benefit foregone. The benefit foregone of doing the business. Right? So 20,000 is basically the implicit cost or the opportunity cost of doing business, because it is representing the foregone income. Because of the doing business, whatever income you're foregoing, such as salary and interest income, and using you're investing your time and resources and money into the business. So you could have invested that time, money, and resources into potentially earning alternate income sources through maybe rent, interest, salary. In this case, there's no rent, but then there is salary and interest that we could have earned. So remember that normal profit means zero economic profit. Zero economic profit का मतलब ये नहीं है, it's not that we are not earning an accounting profit or our financial statements are showing a zero profit. No, we are earning a profit because our revenues exceed the cost that we have incurred. But economists will then say, okay, fine, if you are earning a accounting profit of 20,000, what's the economic profit? इसको कंपेयर करो अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट से फॉरन अपनी 20,000 का प्रॉफिट कमा रहे हो, ओके फाइन, यूर अर्निंग 20,000 प्रॉफिट, कंपेयर इट विद द ऑल्टरनेट इनकम दैट you would have potentially earned. You're saying that your alternate potential income that you have foregone in order to earn this $20,000 of profit is also 20,000. Then it means that in economic terms you're not making any profit. Your economic profit is zero in this case, which is normal profit. Okay, guys. So the entrepreneur here in this case will be satisfied, as in he won't feel like super king, but he'll be satisfied at least. This is the minimum. I have at least made a minimum profit, which is actually equivalent to the amount of benefit that I had foregone in order to start this business and earn the profit of 20,000 that I've made this year. Because he's not at least losing out in economic terms. Now, this is what economic profit is, guys. But now we are going to see another situation. Okay, so moving on to case 2, I have given another case here, which is again differentiating between the economic and accounting profits. So the accounting approach is telling us that we have made a profit of, let's say, $20,000, and the economic approach, on the other hand, is telling us that this time we have made a profit of $5,000. And in the previous case, we saw that there was zero economic profit, which is normal profit, right? Now I've changed the values a bit, and you can see that the revenues and explicit costs are the same, and the foregone wage is also the same. However, the foregone interest is 5%. So let's say if the foregone interest is 5%, I paid rent, fixed cost, and variable cost, and wages, etc. So I paid them. So that total was actually 100,000, right? So I could have earned interest as well if I had not done this business. I could have deposited 100,000 in the bank. And let's say if the interest rate is 5%, so in this case, the foregone interest value would be 5,000. So if you're calculating the economic profit, the accounting profit is still the same, right? If you're calculating the reason it's the same is because accounting profit, the total cost in the account while calculating the profit will not factor in the opportunity cost or the implicit cost, right? And the explicit cost was still the same. But when you are factoring in the implicit cost in the total cost for calculating the economic profit, you are taking the foregone wage 10,000, but this time the interest is 5,000, because 5% of 100,000 would be 5,000, right? So this time you have an economic profit of 5,000. Now the thing is that the accounting approach is telling us that we are earning a profit of 20,000, while the economic approach is telling us that we are earning a profit of 5,000. There's a difference. Now, what do you really mean by that? First of all, the absolute profit for a business, when it will be showing the profit statements to its shareholders or to public, obviously the profit would be appearing as 20,000. But as economists, we are saying that, what, we're calculating the economic profit, not the accounting profit. So the economic profit for an economist would be that, okay, fine, the economist would be like, okay, fine, you're earning a profit of 20,000, but you haven't really factored in your opportunity cost. So factor in that first and then tell me what the profit is. So after factoring in the opportunity cost, that is the benefit foregone of doing the business, or the alternative benefits that could be received for not doing the business instead, and those benefits are now equal to, let's say, 15,000. If we factor those benefits in as an implicit cost, then the economic profit is 5,000. And whenever we have an economic profit, that is known as an abnormal profit. However, the normal profit in the previous case is basically zero economic profit. When there's no economic profit, that's normal profit, right? And when you have an economic profit, that is abnormal profit. Now, what do you really mean by this? It simply means that it's a situation which is telling us that, okay, fine, you are earning, when you did business, you earned a profit of 20,000, right? That's what the benefit of doing the business is because we did the business the whole year, we earned $20,000 profit. Had we not done this business, instead we would have done something else, probably worked or done a job or earned interest, then we would have earned 15,000, which is our opportunity cost or the implicit cost. So this is telling us that, you know what, so from an economist perspective, we are actually saying that, okay, we have actually earned 5,000 more. Actually, we are better off by 5,000. From an economist perspective, we are actually better off by 5,000. Fine, we earn an absolute profit of 20,000, but actually we are better off by 5,000 because the thing is that, and it's actually worthwhile doing the business. This really shows that, you know what, in an economic sense, we earned a profit of 20,000. Had we not done the business, we would have only earned 15,000 a year. So the business is actually worthwhile to us because it ended up earning more than what we could have potentially earned had we not done the business. So economists compare, because economists are sort of factoring in the opportunity cost. They are saying, okay, fine, you're earning 20,000 profit, good, very good, but had you not earned this profit and had you not done the business, then what would you have earned? So technically we would have earned only 15,000, right? So this business is giving us 5,000 more than what we would have actually earned. So the 5,000 more that we have actually earned by doing the business, ये जो 5,000 हमें ज़्यादा मिल रहे हैं business करके, ये आपका एबनॉर्मल प्रॉफिट होता है. इसको एक इकोनॉमिस्ट बोलते हैं कि ये जो प्रॉफिट आपने अर्न किया है ये आपका एबनॉर्मल प्रॉफिट है. समझ आ रही है बात? सो दिस इज़ व्हाट इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट और एबनॉर्मल प्रॉफिट इज़. ठीक है जी. बिजनेस करके मैं 20,000 कमा रहा हूँ, ठीक है. बिजनेस अगर नहीं करता, कुछ और करता तो 15,000 कमाता. तो बिजनेस करने से जो मुझे एक्चुअली अकॉर्डिंग टू एन इकोनॉमिस्ट जो एक्स्ट्रा बेनिफिट मिल रहा है वो 5,000 का बेनिफिट मिल रहा है. आई एम बेटर ऑफ बाय 5,000. सो दिस इज व्हाट इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट इज फॉर एन इकोनॉमिस्ट परस्पेक्टिव. आई एम बेटर ऑफ बाय 5,000. तो मुझे वो जो 5,000 इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट है उसको हम एबनॉर्मल प्रॉफिट बोलते हैं. ठीक है. आपको ये बात यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट the total cost for is also factoring in the opportunity cost as well. ठीक है. So this is what abnormal profit is. So technically it's actually worthwhile doing the business. Business को फ़ायदा हुआ है. I mean it's better. मुझे actually यही business continue करना चाहिए. मुझे कुछ और नहीं करना चाहिए. Because अगर मैं कुछ और करूँगा तो 15,000 earn करूँगा income. और business करके मेरे 20,000 का profit हो रहा है. So it's a good decision doing the business. Okay, so now let's move on to case 3. Now in case 3, guys, what I have done is that the foregone interest rate की percentage को I have changed to 15%. Right? Rest is all the same. So for example, the accounting profit is showing 20,000 का accounting profit. And the business is making a profit of 20,000 doing the annual operations, while the economic approach says that the economic profit is actually there's an economic loss. In fact, there's subnormal profit because 15% of 100,000 would give you an alternate income earning of through interest income that would be equivalent to 15,000. तो टोटल इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट कितनी हो जाएगी? टोटल इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट वुड बी 10,000 फ्रॉम वेज एंड 15,000 फ्रॉम द इंटरेस्ट इनकम दैट इज फॉरगॉन. सो 25,000 इज योर इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट और अल्टरनेट इनकम सोर्स दैट इज फॉरगॉन. So total cost, it is explicit plus implicit, that is 100K plus 25K, which makes it 125K. तो total cost जो आपकी आ रही है under economic approach is 125,000. And if you deduct it from the 120,000 का total revenue, you end up in a loss which is 5,000 का loss. So economic approach हमारी बता रही है कि हमें एक loss हो रहा है, इसको हम economic loss बोलते हैं. ठीक है. या फिर economics में we also call it subnormal profit. Now यहाँ पे जो economic loss हमें हो रहा है 5,000 का, यहाँ पे इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि business को actually में loss हो रहा है. यानी business को absolute terms में loss नहीं हो रहा. उसके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स प्रॉफिट ही शो कर रहे हैं. उसके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स यही शो कर रहे हैं दैट द बिजनेस इज अर्निंग मोर रेवेन्यूज देन इट्स कॉस्ट. इट्स कवरिंग इट्स ऑल इट्स कॉस्ट एंड द पेमेंट्स मेड एंड इट्स अर्निंग मोर रेवेन्यूज. इकोनॉमिकली अगर इकोनॉमिस्ट जब उसको उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट को कंसिडर देखें, इकोनॉमिस्ट का काम होता है बेटर ऑफ वर्स ऑफ जज करना कि वेदर द डिसीजंस आर इन द राइट मैनर, वेदर the decisions made are, whether the judgments made are rational or not. So they have to compare whatever benefit they earn, whatever benefit we make. That is why we need to compare it with the opportunity cost. Okay, fine, we made this decision, was it worth it or not? हम check करेंगे what is the alternate benefit for gone. Right? So since the objective of an economist is to see whether the judgments were worthwhile or not, they have to factor in the opportunity cost. And for that reason, if they factor in the implicit cost of 25,000, we see that there's an economic loss. So economic approach कह रही है कि there's a economic loss of 5,000. Now an economic loss of 5,000 in economics is also known as a subnormal profit. So subnormal profit means a loss in economics, right? अब why? क्योंकि देखें subnormal profit का मतलब है subnormal means normal profit से भी कम. अब इस बात को समझें. Subnormal means less than normal. यानी normal profit भी नहीं हुआ. Business जो है वो normal profit भी earn नहीं कर सका. अब अच्छा, नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट क्या था? व्हाट वाज नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट? नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट वाज अ सिचुएशन वेयर द अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट वाज 20,000 एंड द अल्टरनेट सोर्स ऑफ इनकम or the opportunity cost was 20,000. So the economic profit was zero. So whenever the economic profit is zero, that's normal profit. यानी इसका मतलब ये होता है नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट इज टेलिंग अस अ सिचुएशन. देखिए, नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट में इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट जीरो है, लेकिन एब्सोल्यूट प्रॉफिट 20,000 ही है. सो नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट एक सिचुएशन को रिप्रेजेंट करे. इट्स रिप्रेजेंटिंग अ सिचुएशन विद द अमाउंट ऑफ एब्सोल्यूट प्रॉफिट अर्न, दैट इज द अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट, इज जस्ट एज इक्वल to the alternate source of income that could have been earned by not doing the business and using the factors of production into some another use. और राइट, तो जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड रिसोर्सेज हैं और सेल्फ ओन्ड रिसोर्सेज हैं, उनका ऑल्टरनेट यूज से इनकम 20,000 आती, और बिजनेस ने भी 20,000 अर्न करके दिया है. सो नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो रहा है जीरो. सही है, दैट्स सो इकोनॉमिक प्रॉफिट इज जीरो. सो और हमने ये बात डिस्कस की थी कि नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट इज बेसिकली द मिनिमम प्रॉफिट दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू कंटिन्यू द ऑपरेशन. यानी इतना तो कम से कम, यानी अगर आप मुझसे इफ यू आस्क एन इकोनॉमिस्ट हाउ मच प्रॉफिट यू शुड अर्न इन ऑर्डर टू कंटिन्यू डूइंग द ऑपरेशन, सो द बिजनेस विल से, the economists will say कि at least earn normal profit, otherwise close the business. If you're not even earning a normal profit, then there's no use. Close the business, do something else, as in start earning the alternate source of income. Because understood? So basically नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट वो मिनिमम प्रॉफिट है कि कम से कम इतना तो अर्न करना ही है अगर आपको बिजनेस कंटिन्यू करना है तो, राइट. सो बात यह है कि जब बिजनेस इज अर्निंग एन इकोनॉमिक लॉस, दैट इज सब नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट. सो सब नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट मीन्स लेस देन नॉर्मल, यानी नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट भी आप अर्न नहीं कर सकते. इसका मतलब यह है कि यानी आपने जो प्रॉफिट अर्न किया है, द अमाउंट ऑफ प्रॉफिट that you earned by doing the business, that was less than your alternate source of income. यानी कि आप बेसिकली इकोनॉमिक ब्रेक इवन भी नहीं कर सके. ये कब होगा? ऑब्वियसली बात है. देखें, इकोनॉमिक लॉस क्यों आ रहा है? आपका अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट 20,000 शो कर रहा है. सो यू रियली हैप्पी, येस आई मेड अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ $20,000 एंड आई एम इट्स लाइक सुपर कूल एंड आई एम रियली हैप्पी, आई एम थ्रोइंग अ पार्टी. बट एन इकोनॉमिस्ट विल से हैंग ऑन, यू कम हियर, यू टेल मी समथिंग, यू आर एंजॉइंग दैट यू मेक अ प्रॉफिट 20,000, बट look at your opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of making a profit of 20,000 is the 25,000 income foregone. So technically you are worse off by 5,000. So economists will say, okay, now listen to me. It's better that you do, because it's better that you do, it's better that you close the business and use your factors of production somewhere else, right? Use your factors of production in the alternate source of income. Do that. Stop this, do that. Because वहाँ पे आप 25,000 earn करोगे, यहाँ पे आप 20,000 earn कर रहे हो. So economist is saying that you are worse off by 5,000. आपको economic loss है. So economic loss अगर हो रहा है तो फिर business आप बंद कर दें. Don't do the business. Don't continue your operations. An economic loss, guys, is a situation where you are earning subnormal profit. Subnormal profit means less than normal. यानी कि normal profit भी नहीं कमा सके आप. Normal profit क्या था? The minimum profit that you are required to sustain or survive in the business. इतना तो earn करना है. यानी अगर आपकी alternate income source क्या कहते हैं ये रहा. So if your alternate income source is 20,000, that you could have earned by not doing the business. But if you are choosing to forego this and doing the business, so the minimum amount that you should at least earn is 20,000 to continue the operation next year as well. Obviously you won't really be really happy in this as well, बिकॉज ये तो आपको ऑल्टरनेट से भी मिल रहा था ना. सो कोई वाव चीज़ तो नहीं हुई बिजनेस करके, बट कम से कम नुकसान तो नहीं हुआ ना, इकोनॉमिकली नुकसान नहीं हुआ. देखिए, इकोनॉमिस्ट की जजमेंट इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट. अंडरस्टूड? इकोनॉमिक इंट्यूशन समझें इसमें आप लोग यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स जितने भी हैं यहाँ पे सुन रहे हैं. सो पॉइंट इज कि सो दैट्स व्हाट इकोनॉमिक लॉस इज ऑल अबाउट. इकोनॉमिक लॉस इज सब नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट. मीन्स कि यार आप नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट भी नहीं कमा सके. यानी आपने अकाउंटिंग में इतना, यानी आपके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट शो कर रहे हैं कि आपने इतना भी प्रॉफिट नहीं कमाया कि आप इकोनॉमिक ब्रेक इवन कर जाते. यानी आपने प्रॉफिट कमाया है कितना? आपने यहाँ पे प्रॉफिट कमाया है इस सिचुएशन में, आपने प्रॉफिट कमाया है 20,000 सिर्फ, विच इज़ नॉट गुड, बिकॉज ऑल्टरनेट सोर्स ऑफ इनकम इज शोइंग दैट यू कुड हैव अर्न 25,000 इंस्टेड. सो आपको तो बेसिकली इकोनॉमिक लॉस हो रहा है 5,000 का. ठीक है, लेस देन नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो रहा है आपको. ठीक है, यहाँ पर हमने अज्यूम किया है कि फॉरगॉन इंटरेस्ट रेट 15% है. हमने केस 3 में सिचुएशन चेंज की है, हमने वो की है सिचुएशन. ठीक है, सिचुएशन को ऑल्टर किया है हमने. सो इकोनॉमिक लॉस इज टेलिंग अस, हालांकि सो इन एब्सोल्यूट टर्म्स यू आर अर्निंग एन अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट ऑफ 20,000. इन एब्सोल्यूट टर्म्स यू आर अर्निंग अ प्रॉफिट, बट इन इकोनॉमिक टर्म्स यू आर अर्निंग अ लॉस. ठीक है जी. लेस देन सब नॉर्मल, लेस देन नॉर्मल. नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट भी अर्न नहीं कर सके आप. So yeah, what's the point of doing the business then? If you aren't even able to economically break even, then close the business. Instead of earning a profit of 20,000, you were better off not doing this business, and you should instead switch your factors of production into earning the alternate source of income. अब आप जॉब पे लग जाएं, आप सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड है ना, खुद बिजनेस करें, आप जॉब पे लग जाएं अपनी. सही है जी. यूज़ योर बिल्डिंग इंस्टेड ऑफ यूजिंग द बिल्डिंग टू do the business operations, just rent it out. Instead of paying the wages and the expenses, use that money to save in the bank and earn interest. Because over there you will earn more money. So that is what's इसके पीछे पूरी एक economic intuition है. समझें इसको. And this is very interesting. It's actually a really interesting concept. It makes sense now. It gives us useful insights into important decisions that economists make. Right? यही आपको लिख कर आना है एग्जाम में भी. So guys, economic profit is basically, there are three type of economic profit. Number one, normal profit. ठीक है जी, where zero economic profit, normal profit is zero economic profit. It's also called economic break even. सही है. इकोनॉमिक ब्रेक इवन का मतलब ये नहीं है कि एक्चुअली में हमारे पास अकाउंटिंग ब्रेक इवन, अकाउंटिंग में प्रॉफिट ही हो रहा होगा, हम इकोनॉमिक ब्रेक इवन की बात कर रहे हैं. राइट. नो प्रॉफिट नो लॉस इन टर्म्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिकली. राइट. क्योंकि वैसे तो हमने प्रॉफिट कमाया, 20,000 का प्रॉफिट कमाया, लेकिन जब उसको ऑल्टरनेट इनकम से कंपेयर किया तो पता चला कि कुछ एक्स्ट्रा थोड़ी कमाया हमने, उतना ही कमाया जितना ऑल्टरनेट से कमा सके, तो इकोनॉमिक ब्रेक इवन हो गया ये. राइट. सुपर नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट इज व्हेन वी आर अर्निंग मोर, when the actual profits are more than the alternate source of income. ठीक है. ये जो केस हमने, आई थिंक this was case 2, right, where our actual profit was more than the alternate source of income, 15,000. That's an abnormal profit, right? So that's abnormal profit, और इसको हम super normal profit भी कहते हैं. Abnormal profits are also known as super normal profits as well. ठीक है. The third situation could be subnormal profit, which is an economic loss. Not a loss in absolute term, this is economic loss. So now guys, remember that from this video onwards, whenever we are going to be using the word total cost, we will be including implicit cost in it. सही है. तो टोटल कॉस्ट जो होती है उसके अंदर आपके एक्सप्लिसिट कॉस्ट और इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट दोनों शामिल होती है. सो टोटल कॉस्ट के जो आपने कर्व्स पढ़े हैं, जितने भी कर्व्स पढ़े हैं, उसके जो भी शेप्स हमने डिस्कस किए, व्हाटएवर द शेप्स दैट वी हैव डिस्कस, ऑल दोज शेप्स एंड ऑल दोज कर्व्स are factoring in the implicit cost. हाँ, जब मैं आपको टोटल कॉस्ट पढ़ा रहा था तो मैंने आपको टोटल कॉस्ट के अंदर फिक्स कॉस्ट प्लस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट इक्वल्स टू टोटल कॉस्ट बोला था. दैट वाज जस्ट टू गिव यू न्यूमेरिकल एग्जांपल्स एंड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट टोटल कॉस्ट इज. बट when we are drawing the total cost graph, right, when we are drawing the total cost graph, remember this, when we are drawing the total cost graph, okay, so when we are drawing the total cost graph, उस सिचुएशन के अंदर जो टोटल कॉस्ट हम कैलकुलेट कर रहे होते हैं, इकोनॉमिकली जो हम टोटल कॉस्ट कैलकुलेट कर रहे होते हैं, उसमें वी आर फैक्टरिंग इन. एंड जब भी हम टोटल कॉस्ट कर्व बना रहे हैं तो हमारी अजम्पशन है, वी आर अज्यूमिंग कि यस वी आर फैक्टरिंग इन द इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट. Remember this. So from now on, whenever a total cost curve you will see, it automatically assumes that you are factoring in implicit cost. Okay. Secondly, also remember, since the slope of the total cost is marginal cost, so then marginal cost also has implicit cost in it. Okay guys, so I hope you understood this concept now. Now the next video that will be uploaded will be on mapping out or graphing out these abnormal profits, supernormal profits and subnormal profits. यानी अब हम इसके diagrams discuss करेंगे. Okay guys, see you in that video.